This is Sarah Jones on the Politicus Pod for Politicus USA's The Daily. If you like what you're hearing, give me a follow on Post News at Politicus Sarah, POLITICUS and subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss any episodes. The 1-6 committee is only the beginning of Trump's brutal week. Monday, it's the 1-6 committee's referrals. Tuesday, it's his taxes. And Wednesday, it's the 1-6 committee's report. On Monday, the January 6th committee is meeting at 1 p.m. and reportedly plans to issue at least 3 criminal referrals against Donald Trump. According to an NBC exclusive, those include inciting or assisting in an insurrection against his own country while president, obstructing an official proceeding, and conspiracy to defraud the United States government. But the nightmare doesn't end there for Donald Trump. On Tuesday, the Ways and Means Committee is meeting to discuss his tax returns and what they will release. And I think that is probably the thing that scares him the most, because those tax returns are going to blow up his public image, and there's obviously something in there he really doesn't want anyone to see. He's gone to great lengths to keep them hidden. On Wednesday, the January 6th committee will release its report. So that's just boom, boom, boom. Speaking of the insurrection, Crew has a new report out that's meant to address the election of individuals to the U.S. Congress and state assemblies who might be disqualified from holding office under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment for engaging in the Trump terrorist attack on the United States. The members of Congress whose disqualifications should be investigated, according to Crew, are Paul Gosar, Derek Van Orden, Anthony Kern, Donnie Loftus, Mike Azinger, and Mike Maddock and David Eastman. Basically, people who are in Arizona, Michigan, North Carolina, Wisconsin, West Virginia, and Alaska. This is your moment. You can urge that this member of Congress or your state legislator prevents an insurrectionist from taking office. Crew said if elected officials don't want to hold up the Constitution, then we all will. And that's right. They are quoted in their article, which is linked on our Substack newsletter with the show notes for this episode. And I urge all of you in those states to go to that article and see if there's something that you feel compelled to report. So this is the quote that from Crew. Crew believes that there's a reasonable suspicion that each of the individuals named in this report is disqualified because they, 1, previously swore an oath to the Constitution, and 2, either A, joined the mob that gathered at the United States Capitol, or B, helped orchestrate the rallies on January 6th and related extra-legal events to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. There are, if you go to that link, you'll see that they go into a rather lengthy legal reason why this is limited to those people, because of course many of us are in states with people who did a lot to try to erase the will of the voters, to steal our votes. And it does seem really wrong that we have no recourse for that. So, but for those who do, great if you feel compelled to take action on that. And meanwhile, I just want everyone to take a moment to appreciate that this is probably going to be one of the last times the House will be functioning as anything other than a conspiracy chamber of far-right bonkers, misdirection, and deflection from the real issues that Congress should be addressing. The incoming House Republican majority says that their top priority is to investigate President Biden's family, who aren't even in government. And this is not a good use of our taxpayer-funded resources, since the Department of Justice is already investigating Hunter Biden. This is even more unpopular than the midterms might have led people to suspect. I think it was made very clear in the midterms, but apparently the Republicans didn't get that message. They don't want to get that message. A USA Today poll says 5% of people want the House to be investigating the Biden administration, let alone the Biden family. I can't even imagine what that percentage would be if you narrow that down to Hunter Biden's laptop, about which there has been no chain of custody established. The conspiracy about that is pretty wild. It doesn't have the right interfered. The Trump Republicans and Rudy Giuliani interfered so much in that laptop that whatever was on there, if there was anything criminal, it is going to be very hard to establish that it was there originally at this point. So inflation and economy took the top concern, followed by threats to democracy, immigration, climate change, gun control, and abortion. None of which the incoming Republican-led House will be addressing, because several of these issues they are against as a party. And actually, I think it's all of them. They're against democracy, immigration, climate change, addressing climate change. They're against addressing immigration. They're against protecting democracy. And they are against reasonable gun control. And obviously against abortion. So, yeah, I guess they're against everything that's popular. And that kind of checks. That tracks. So this is Sarah Jones on the Politicus Pod for Politicus USA's The Daily. If you are tired of billionaires controlling the news you see, and you want to support independent news that puts the people first, please subscribe to our Substack, which we are using to keep the whole website open to the public and not behind a paywall. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking with you tomorrow after all of these referrals are made.